What's up? I'm Anthony from Red. I'm going to walk you through my gear on stage today. My guitars, my guitar rig, my pedal board. We'll get to all that stuff. I play PRS. I've been playing them for almost 10 years now. I think it's the best guitar in the world, period. But here they are, my pretty ladies all in a row. This is the 7-string baritone. It's got the HFS pickups in it. This is actually a prototype. They're about to release this 7-string, so I called PRS up and asked them if they had something that was able to tune to drop E. So this is this guy is in that tuning. This is an actual 74 gauge string. It's basically the 4th string on a bass guitar here, so it's tuned really low. 60, 54, 48. Last three. I know these last two are 17 and 14. And I think that guy is 28, I think, something like that. So, you know, I don't get into those details very much. So, as long as I know the big ones start here and the little ones go here. So, you gotta keep it simple. So, but yeah, that's a couple of the other ones. This is actually one I had made for the 5th record. This is a custom 24 matte finish with the nickel-plated HFS pickups in them. All custom done by PRS. This one is in drop C, actually, so this is not too low, but this is actually my backup for my main guitar I use for a couple of songs. So I go to this guy. If something happens with this one, and this is the very first PRS guitar I ever owned when I started with the company. I call this one Vegas, and it's been beat up pretty good. I've had it for a long time, and it's got a lot of road rash, but this thing sounds amazing. And it just gives it all the character in the world. The headstock's been snapped off probably 3 times. This hit the singer in the head once, snapped it in half. He paid me back with hitting it with the top of his microphone at the end of a song and snapped it right off. So I sent it back to the PRS guys, and they are amazing. Their repair shop is unbelievable, but I told them not to touch any of this stuff because this is all the fun stuff. This is from, you know, back when I used to wear huge belt buckles and so all that stupid stuff. So everything I've got they're all the HFS, and actually one of these guys has their Tremonti pickup in it, which is a little bit hotter, their hottest gain pickup that they've got. But this is the new 277 baritone SC model they just released. I love the starburst finish here. It's really pretty amazing. This thing sounds huge. It competes with this one. Obviously, they're both baritone scale, 20/70 scale. So actually, this is 25.5. You can't get it in there but this guy's monstrous. And we do a lot of low tunings. This one's actually in drop A, so which is kind of funny because that's pretty low, and this one's a whole octave down in drop E from standard tuning. So it's pretty low, pretty awesome. But the Marzio clip locks, these things are actually great because any of you budding artists out there, players, if you want to interchange, you know, your wireless packs or whatever, my guy's back here doing this for me. When we switch guitars, he just pops this one out, puts it back on there. But then on my stuff, because I swing my guitars, I do kinds of crazy stuff. I put metal wire, you can see how it's all rusted there and whatever from all this constant sweat. And if you could smell these straps right now, they smell like the inside of a fake leg, I'd say, something like that. But yeah, that wire keeps it. If that plastic breaks, that cable's going to catch that, so the guitar doesn't go flying across the stage, because that's happened. So that's why that redundancy's there, so that doesn't happen anymore. This is the blue. This is my new. I called this New Guy when I got it. I didn't have a cool name. I was like, it's the new guy in the pack, so I called him New Guy. But this is another custom one I had made. Also PRS. Everything's PRS. This is a custom shop one. This one is in drop C sharp, actually, so this one is actually higher than this guy. I play a new song on our new record called Gone on this guitar, and I also play a song that we're pretty well known for, Breathe Into Me, on this guitar. It's in C sharp, so, but it's got the custom finish with I wanted it to look like broken glass. Like the front of the guitar was broken glass, so when the lights hit it on stage, you can see how it picks up all the different lights. And the blue was actually picked because it was the record art was baby blue, navy blue type colors. So that was that guy. Now for Christmas they sent me these are custom truss rods, so make us all feel special, you know. So they're all GHS. I use all GHS strings, but they're all different. They're different sizes. These two guys are 56 gauge, and the rest of this is a 74. I always just go with the bottom string. This is a 74 gauge. These are 56. And these are 70, so they're all a little different tunings. Like I said, I've got a backup for this tuning here, but I also, when we get to my pedal board, I can show you, which eliminates the need to bring a bunch of guitars on the road, because I've got so many. I can pick and choose what I want because of this one pedal that I use on my pedal board. I can show you that here. But we'll move on to this is my actual guitar rig here. So I've got these are the first generation Kempers. These things are amazing. They're all, if you're not familiar with them, they're just a digital profile of amps. You name it, it's got it in there. It's pretty amazing. Any amp that you can think of has been profiled in this, and all the stuff that I actually own, all the amps I used to travel with, I actually profiled in these so I could have them live. But this eliminates the need to have extra tubes, extra fuses, extra amps. It's made things really, really simple for us out here. It's cleaned up the stage a lot. If you notice, our stage is very bare. That's actually backline for the other bands, but we don't use cabinets, so we don't have heads, any of that stuff. So everything lives in these cases. And I've got two different Kempers going at the same time. Kemper 1's running a completely different head than Kemper 2. And then with my pedal board, I use all MIDI. I'm all MIDI switching here. So anytime I step on a pedal or one of the switches on my pedal board, this will change 20 different. It's pretty cool. It lights up like a Christmas tree, basically. But I just pick all the different sounds and the processing and the outputs that I like to use, and send it to the front of the house. So it's pretty awesome. I've used so many different amps. We've been on the road 10 years, so I've had a chance and opportunity to work with a lot of different stuff, like Mesa rectifiers. Actually, in the last couple of years, I used a new company called Wizard out of Canada, which is pretty amazing. But we use Bogner, we use Diesel. Those are our go-tos basically. But I've actually profiled all of those amps, and I use them all, so I still use them live. And the crazy thing about these is that in the studio, we run these heads through cabinets just to get the microphones and stuff. The first time we tried it, we loved it. But this time around, when we made the new record, we didn't even use cabinets. This went straight into the DAW that we used for the record, and we A/B'd them and couldn't tell the difference. And I think you get a 50-50 chance, and in that 50-50 chance, about 6 times out of 10 you get it wrong, because it sounds that close to the real thing. Pretty incredible. So it's just a lot of parameters and stuff that you can change on here. There's real-time parameters and everything. You can change, your delays and your reverbs, and obviously your noise gates and stuff. Your gain right here, your gain knobs. But yeah, you'd have to read all the literature on these things. I could spend hours talking about that. But I've got 2 power conditioners here by Monster, the Pro 2500s. These things are lifesavers. Actually, today this actually came in really handy. These handy little LED readouts on the front of here tell me if the power's good, if we've got good grounds. But if this guy lights up, that means we got a problem with the quad box or whatever the power is plugged into, because today it said wiring fault, which means something got crossed in positive negatives in the quad box or something, which could totally fry the rig, overload it. So that prevents that from happening, and all this stuff going. So it's nice. So these guys come in really handy. But I've got 2. One's a redundant backup, just in case we lose power. To one of them, we got the other one ready to go. But this is my wireless. I only used one because I've got completely different packs for the other guitars. But this is my Sennheiser wireless, the G3 series, which we love, which is probably going away soon because the government sold all the wireless frequencies. Now we have to get new frequencies updated soon. But that's pretty simple. That actually is just nice and clean. One of those. A lot of guys use 2. I've never really had a need for 2. So. But moving on to this is our track rack. This thing's kind of complicated, but in short, these are the Motus. These are basically individual outputs that come from the computer. Whatever we're sending in the session, these are individual outputs on all 4 of these systems. We're actually lighting up 2. These are the redundant ones in case these go down. But these are sending all at once. At any given time, it's sending 14 different stems from our sessions here. If I push play on this, you can see that it's down here. It shows you all the metering, everything. So that's how we know it's all working properly. And some days it doesn't want to, because the gremlins show up, and that's a problem. But this is it. This is clean and simple. This is my Mastermind PVC. I just got this last year. I love this thing. It's a complete standalone MIDI controller, and I can do everything that I can. This has actually got USB interface that I can plug into a computer and do all the programming on the computer. through the editor, and just literally send it to this, and it updates everything I need to send. So, go through all my different songs or whatever, changes all my MIDI patches on the Kempers. And this is the other pedal I was talking about. This thing is a necessity for bands, I believe, nowadays, where if I play a song that's in drop A and I need to go to drop C, this guy will change it by semitones. This is a pretty popular pedal in the industry, I think, the drop tune, the whammy drop tune by Digitech. So this prevents me from having to have 15 guitars on stage in different tunings, because I can do it right on the fly by pushing one button. It changes the tunings for me, so I don't have to worry about that. And if I break a string and I hand me a guitar that's not in the tuning that I was just playing in, I've got patches set up where if I push one button, it changes it to the right tuning. So that makes things really nice. I'm actually about to update this because I just got a new endorsement from Cusack. These guys are amazing, but this is the first Cusack pedal I had, but they just sent me 6 more, so I got to get this updated because there's a couple that they sent me that are really amazing. I can't wait to use. But this pedal board is actually a Temple custom pedal board. They're a pretty amazing new company that just came out not too long ago, I don't think, but it's pretty cool. This thing is super clean. Wired the whole thing like this. So all these holes that are in here give you the opportunity to keep the cables, the cable management under control, and you got the custom patch panel on the side with all the cables obviously labeled, and they're all locked in place so they can't pull out, because I tend to kick cables all the time on stage, and you'd be surprised, anything can happen. It's Murphy's Law on stage. So, but I got the Boss Digitech delay ED7. This one's really cool. I mess with this a lot during the show, and I'm constantly bending down, messing with the timing and all that stuff. One fun thing about the pedal board is that Temple's actually sells LED bars that go inside the pedal board, and I can change my pedal board to any color I want during a show, and just by pushing this remote, just change it whatever. It's fun. So you need those little fun things to do, because we get bored pretty quick. So I got the Morley AB switch, which is always on my wireless, obviously, but if something goes wrong and I take too many hits or the wireless goes down, this just push this one button and it switches over to my cable. I don't have my backup cable in right now, but this one button will change it to my cable instantly, and I'm still making noise. So that's that. This is a brand new setup for me. This is my trigger table. This is basically sending. First of all, this is the Akai MPD 218. This is actually running our track. So if I pick a song, each one of these songs is obviously label or a MIDI patch to the computer, and I can just start our tracks instantly that way. Stop them if something goes wrong. This thing's pretty awesome. But moving on to this guy. This is the Akai MPC Live. This thing is unbelievable. It's a standalone computer, battery operated, the whole nine. This has got all of our triggers for different songs. Different sounds that you hear on the record are actually inside this machine, and on the readout here, everything's like touch screen, so I can do all kinds of fun stuff on the fly. But it's got the songs I use, the different patches for, where each one of these is literally playing almost like a keyboard, basically the same thing. So this is pretty cool. I believe that this is nowadays this is such a cool instrument, and guys. A lot of people are more traditional, where it's just a guitar, amp, keyboard, whatever. I think that a lot of this stuff is changing the game and giving guys that are sitting, in their bedrooms the opportunity to create brand new sounds right out of their brain. They're programmed into these pads, and they've become an instrument all of its own. And I've had an amazing time learning how to use all this stuff, because it's just a cool tool to have on stage. And just add to the coolness of the show, So, but this is the Yamaha Gts Multi 12. This is actually a drum trigger pad, mostly used for drummers. But I hit really hard. I'm a heavy hander when I play guitar, and some of the samples that I use, I like to just come up here and punch this table, and some really cool sound comes out of them. I got some funny stuff in here. Like I got a voice kit in here that plays like different lines from movies. So when Michael was talking to the crowd, I interrupt him by saying something from the Goonies or something like that. So, but this guy's really cool for that too. So these are basically essentially the same thing, except this guy is way more involved. This thing's literally a computer, so it's pretty cool to have. But Got her on this nice sturdy table. These guys actually run to these two DIs up here. And everything's in stereo, so these guys are running to these two and sending out the front of house. Pretty self-explanatory. But that is my stage rig. So we've had a chance to work with a lot of amazing endorsees and endorsers, and PRS is definitely one that I'm just so proud to be one of their endorsees, and it's just been an honor to play with those guitars. I feel like they're just amazing. They take such good care of us out here. I usually get a couple guitars every year, stuff that we're just, you know, depending on where we are in the whole scheme of things, they send me what I need, and it's just really cool to have that kind of support out here with, you know, I'm a guitar player first, so that's the most important thing to me, but everything that you're seeing on stage, though, we've just got so many people that are in our corner helping us out, and just GHS strings is a huge thing for us. We've been using those guys for a long time, and we believe they're really great strings, so that's what we like to use. And it's all, you know, every band's got their thing and what they love to use, and that's, you know, it's important to us that we're kind of creatures of habit, so once we get used to something, we just stick with it because we're brand loyal, you know, so. All this other stuff, you know, the Kempers, all those things, I haven't actually hooked up with Kemper to see if I could be a sponsored artist or whatever, but actually the Temple pedal board, I'm endorsed by those guys, so their company's amazing, and they've always got new stuff that's happening, and I'm excited about what they're going to have in the future. But as of right now, I get so many compliments on that pedal board just because how clean it looks and just how fun it looks, and you know, some guys come up here with a piece of plywood with some, you know, cables plugged into it, and hey, if that's what they like, that's what they like. But I like it to look like kind of like a spaceship, you know? So I want it to be high tech and nice and clean. But so we're super excited to hang with those guys and use their stuff. But so we just finished our new record. It's the record's called Gone. It just came out last Friday. Super excited about it. The first single's called Still Alive. That hit the internet, I guess you could say. Probably a week or so before the record came out, so we're super excited about that song being out there on the radio and on the, you know, the waves, radio waves out there. But you can see that or pick that up at any music store, and Red Music Online is our website. So if you want to check us out, we have all the, you know, Instagram, Twitter, all of our links to those things to talk to each one of the guys in the band. That's one thing about us too. We really love doing is we get feedback from fans, obviously, in all those different campaigns, but we're the guys that are talking to them. You won't have somebody at the label that's you know, answering questions for us. We're the ones that answer, so whenever we get a chance to. So it's a busy life, so we don't get a chance to do it as often as we'd like to, but whenever we get a chance to sit down, we'll do that. So it's cool to hear from fans. And oh yeah, the other thing we do is all these risers and stuff. Accurate Staging is a place in Nashville that builds all this stuff for us. So those guys, a huge shout out to Accurate Staging because they do such a good job. They build everything custom, everything from the scrims that he's putting together down here on the floor that attach right to the drum riser. They put all this stuff together for us. So as much as we like to build ourselves, this stuff is, we're not welders, we're musicians, so we can't put that stuff together ourselves. But that's that, man.